Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years.
Alright, so we're going to do a transmission service on this. We're not going to replace the filter. All we're going to do is a drain and fill on this system. There's a 19mm socket and an extension and a ratchet, and we're going to take this drain plug out of the tranny pan. Make sure you have a drain bucket underneath here. And we'll just drain that fluid out. This fluid actually doesn't look that bad. There is still a little bit of red color to it, but it's good to change it. It's probably been about 60,000 miles since it was changed last. Right, now that most of the fluid is drained out, it's just a little bit trickling down. That's enough. So I'm going to put the drain plug back in. One thing that's a good idea before you take this drain plug out, just check to make sure your dipstick indicator is not stuck in the dipstick tube, otherwise you won't be able to add fluid in it. This vehicle it's not, so good. Then I'm going to snug this drain plug back up. Not too tight, just snug. We're going to use a long skinny funnel. Put that in there, and then we're going to add our transmission fluid. You're going to want to check your owner's manual for the appropriate fluid type for your vehicle. So I put 3 quarts of fluid in this transmission at this point. One way to determine how much fluid you should add is when you drained the fluid, if you could measure the amount you drained. Because we drained ours into a oil drain bucket, we don't have the ability to check how much was in there, but if you do, that would help when adding fluid. So we're going to just check it at 3 quarts and we'll add accordingly. We're going to pull the funnel out, put the dipstick back in. We're just going to start the car real quick. So once the engine's idling, what we're going to do is you're going to step your foot on the brake and we're going to go throughout all the gears: reverse, neutral, drive. Then we'll go down to second, then first, then we'll go back to park, and then we're going to go check our fluid. Alright, so I'm going to check the transmission fluid now. So pull the dipstick out. First I'm going to wipe it with a rag. And we'll reinsert it in the dipstick tube, and I'll pull it out again. Hard to see. It looks like we need to add a little bit. So when checking this transmission fluid in the cold, the transmission fluid between 86 degrees and 122 degrees, it should be in these hash marks. Now if the fluid was hot, like you were out driving a little bit, you would flip the dipstick over and it would be in these marks between 122 degrees and 176 degrees. So if you were checking it and you just got off the highway or you were towing something, you're going to have to let it cool down for about a half an hour before you check it. because it has to be under 176 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to put another half a quart in and check it. Do the same, start it up, go through the gears, and then let it idle, and recheck it while it's idling. Check it again. And as you can see, the fluid is right there in those hash marks, so that's exactly where we want to be. So a little under 4 quarts of fluid. Now if you did this service where you drain the fluid and then you filled it up just like we did, that's only getting part of the fluid out. It's about 50% of the fluid, maybe a little less than that. So if your fluid was still pretty dark, what you'd want to do is drain it again and fill it again, and you could do that a number of times to get all the bad fluid out. But our fluid looks pretty good, so we're going to leave it at that.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at oneauto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.